How many hours of your life have disappeared into a screen you promised to check for just 1 minute? What if the first thing controlling your day is not your alarm, but the phone already in your hand? And what if the real problem is not the phone itself, but the habit that keeps pulling you back before you even notice it? Stickman checks his phone for 1 minute, then 5, then much more. By the time he looks up, the morning is already slipping away. Now he is late, tired, and distracted before the day has even started. He carries the phone into the next part of the day without thinking. At breakfast, his eyes are on the screen, not on the food. He keeps scrolling so much that he barely notices what he's eating. Then the phone follows him to work. One message appears, and his focus disappears with it. He tells himself it will only be one quick check, but quick checks keep stealing small pieces of his attention. By noon, he feels busy, yet very little is actually done. That's when Stickman starts asking a harder question. Maybe the problem is not the phone alone. Maybe it's the habit that reaches for it automatically. When he feels bored, he checks it. When he feels stressed, he checks it. When he feels lonely, he checks it. Even when he feels tired, he still checks it. So he finally asks himself, is this helping me or controlling me? And for the first time, he doesn't ignore the answer. He decides not to be perfect, only to take back a little control. His first step is simple. He stops sleeping with the phone next to his bed. He moves it farther away. That night feels strange. He wants to grab it one more time, but he takes a breath and stays still. The next morning, he can't scroll right away. So, for the first time in a long while, he just sits quietly, and something small begins to change. His second step is to make the phone harder to reach during work. Instead of keeping it on the desk, he puts it away. Now every check needs one extra action. That tiny bit of friction helps more than he expected. Next, he turns off the endless interruptions. No more random buzzing. No more constant pulling. The silence feels strange at first, then calming. Then he learns one more rule. Replace the habit. Don't just remove it. When he wants to scroll, sometimes he drinks water first. Sometimes he reads one page. Sometimes he stands up and stretches instead. Of course, the urge doesn't disappear all at once. Some days he still falls back into old loops, but now he notices it faster. And instead of giving up, he resets. Little by little, the noise in his mind begins to fade. His work gets deeper. His meals feel more real. His evenings slow down. And his sleep starts getting better too. Stickman did not become perfect, he became aware. And sometimes, taking back your life begins by moving one small screen a little farther away.